Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am your host, the notorious H.I.M, and I am back with another Wi-Fi battle. I just want to take some time just to thank you guys for the support. Greatly appreciate you guys checking out my last battle and the subscriptions that I gained as well. Thank you guys. Welcome to the party. But in typical him fashion, I've got some unique Pokemon against some great Pokemon. Not to say that my Pokemon aren't great, because they do come in clutch, but I'm going up against some of the most powerful Pokemon in the game. And looking at his team, I'm thinking he's probably going to want to lead Skarmory. So I'm going to lead off with the Persian here. He is choice specs, and I am rocking that Thunderbolt. So my opponent may not really think that I have that. So I can immediately kind of catch this thing off guard if he goes out into Skarmory. If he goes out into Metagross, I could Dark Pulse, I can start, Water Pulsing. So he could go out into a lot of things, but he does end up going out into Doctor Strange, the Skarmory, and I decide, you know what? Here's a time to get this wet-ass pussycat, into the battle. So I'm going to immediately go for a Thunderbolt here, and there's really nothing that he can do. Nothing wants to really take this in. If anything, it will get chip damage on anything, and I'm thinking he's probably gonna want to get up his hazards, either spikes or rocks. I mean, he could do anything. So I'm gonna go for the Thunderbolt. He could even predict me to nasty plot. So that brings him down almost to the sturdy, and he goes ahead and Brave Birds, which it does a considerable amount of damage to Wop, but I'm still living, still walking and talking and flapping my gums here. So he goes down to that damage, so there's really nothing he can really do. He's no longer going to be able to get up his Stealth Rocks in this battle, because I'm thinking that's probably his only Stealth Rocker. I mean, he could carry it on the Metagross, but you basically wasted Metagross if you're doing that, in most situations. So I'm not really sure what he wants to go out here, but he brings in his Loki the Staraptor, and I am definitely scared of this thing, because I am naturally faster, and a Thunderbolt would probably kill, but he could very well be scarfed the way he brings this in. So, I'm not too sure. I'm definitely scared that I'm gonna lose this pussycat, and I'm thinking, I can't lose it yet, so I'm gonna switch out here. I think the best thing to switch out here is, my Quagsire. I mean, he's my dedicated physical stopper, so he could pretty much take anything, and after running calcs, it should only do really like 45-50%, if that. But when he goes for this Brave Bird, I'm like, wow, this does like 70%. How in the world did he do that? He could be reckless. I mean, he could very well be banded, and looking at the battle later on, I definitely should have recognized that from that damage he is banded, but up until this point, I'm still thinking that he may be scarfed. So I'm thinking maybe I can get a recover off, maybe that was max damage, maybe I can get a min roll, but he's banded, and that's gonna destroy Quagmire. So unfortunately, he didn't have much to do this battle, but we definitely appreciate you sticking around, Quagsire. So now here's one of the reasons that I double scarf this team, because Espeon can handle certain threats when it's scarfed, but it just really couldn't get around when he specs. So that's why I put this Choice Scarf on the Espeon. It's pretty good tech. I love putting the Choice Scarf on this, because most Espeon users are going to get the Choice specs, which is understandable, and but this thing could easily outspeed a scarfed Staraptor and kill it with a Psychic. So that's what I end up doing here, and I end up going into Espeon to scare this thing out, because he's either gonna lose it, or you bring in something to take some chip, And that's kind of why I continue to think throughout this battle that he may be scarfed, because realistically, what purpose would this serve? Like, you have to save this for something later. You can't really allow your Staraptor to go out for free, basically. I mean, you did take out, Quagmire, so you could rest on your laurels, but he brings in this hulking beast of a of a Blissey here, and I go for the Psychic. It does probably 15 to 17%, so not much damage. But I definitely have to get out of here. Honestly, what I should have probably did here was just go right out into Gallade and start, you know, passing around some close combat. So it would have immediately scared it out. But I end up going on to Cobblepot here. My thinking here in this battle is that, okay, I can get up Stealth Rocks, and at least when that Star Raptor comes back in, it will at least get heavily damaged. So it'll make it a little bit easier for my Pokemon to deal with later on and probably outright kill it, right? So, you know, it will limit his switch-ins with the Star Raptor. So that's my thought process, and that's what I go for. I go for the Stealth Rocks, and obviously Empoleon is physically, I apologize, especially defensive, so this Blissey really can't do anything to me. He does pack the Thunder, and luckily I swiftly just dodged that like the Matrix. So honestly, I don't want anything to take a Thunder, you know, not for free. So I'm inclined to just let Empoleon go down here. He doesn't really have any much viability for the rest of his team. The rest of his team, I believe, are you know, are physical attackers, or he wouldn't be able to really do well against the rest of his Pokemon anyway. So I decide, you know what, I don't want free damage off. I'm just gonna let Empoleon go down, and on this Thunder here, he definitely gets a paralysis. So now I'm just moving a little bit slower here. Empoleon not really being able to do much, but you know, he's holding it down for me. This part of the battle, we go back and forth, and obviously he's using Thunder, so he misses a lot. So I end up cutting the battle here just to the point where he ends up taking me out with the Thunder. And that's exactly what he does here. So now I have a couple things I could do, right? Like I could easily go out into the Gallade. The Gallade is probably the best switch for this gentleman here, and you know, there's nothing that he would be able to do. Nothing wants to take a close combat, you know. So that's what I'm thinking is probably the best play, is just to go out in close combat. And then I start thinking, you know what? What if this guy is gonna, you know, switch out here? You know, maybe I can, you know, get in something that can handle his switch a little bit better. And you know, I go for the cheeky switch here and back into Espeon here, because if anything, I could just start passing around Future Sights, right? And nothing really wants to take a Future Sight coming off of an Espeon. So if anything, you know, I can get that off. But he does end up switching out, and I'm thinking he's probably gonna go out into Metagross here, so I could easily get off like a Shadow Ball or something. Like there's nothing that really wants to take that. You know, obviously my opponent could have very well like went back into to Blissey to block that, but you just be putting yourself back at square one, because now I know you fear the Gallade. I mean, who wouldn't? It's so powerful. So that's one of the reasons why playing you know, a little bit risky sometimes could definitely come out as a reward for you. And I end up getting big damage on this this Metagross here. So that's gonna end up being clutch for this battle, because really and truly, I don't really have a Pokemon that could really handle Metagross anymore, right? Like both of my physical threats, or my physically defensive Pokemon are gone. Quagsire's gone, and Empoleon, which could resist the move that this thing goes for, is gone. So I don't really have much of anything left. So at this part of the battle, I'm really starting to get scared, because there's really not much I could do. He kills the Espeon, so now even if the Star Raptor is Scarf, like I intentionally believe it is, I lose my ability to deal with it because I lost my Scarfer. I mean, I could obviously keep around Gallade, but he's my only real answer to deal with some of these Pokemon. I mean, I'm thinking going out into Wop would have been a good deal here, but you know, if I get the Dark Pulse off, that would be great. They'll probably kill it, but he's definitely rocking the Bullet Punch, so he ends up killing me anyway. It doesn't make any difference. So Wop goes down. Obviously, the tunnel's starting to close in. This battle is basically over. Like, his Metagross is gaining health as we go, and I'm down to my last two guns here. So I go out into Gallade, and I'm thinking, okay, I have to get a close combat off, right? Like, that's really my only thing that I can really do. And he has basically all of his Pokemon left. Like, this is not good for this battle for me. Like, I'm not doing good in this battle. I'm in real serious trouble here. So I go for the close combat, get some damage off, and it brings it down to a very good level of health here, where I'm confident another one would be able to kill this if he misses here. But he doesn't miss, and now Gallade's gone. So really and truly, guys, you know, it's been a good battle. I definitely appreciate it. You know, there's really nothing I can really do. I mean, Top Gun comes in here and he's not, you know, gonna be able to do much. So what my play is here is just a facade, because I'm waiting for the burn. I'm waiting for that burn to happen. I'm waiting for us to get something going. I'm hoping the facade could take it out. I mean, that's my best real play, is that the facade kills it. But if it doesn't, this game is over, right? So that's my only play. I have to click facade. There's really nothing else that I can really do at this point in the battle. You know, thank you guys for watching, because this game is basically over. But if you peep the title, you know that Swellow is goated. My opponent, unfortunately, switches out here. He should have just stayed in, but you know, Salamence is not gonna be able to deal with this. Not after the burn. I outspeed everything on his team naturally, right? Nothing is faster than me naturally, so you have to be Scarf in order to beat Swellow here. And I'm gonna show you why Swellow gets those goated wings. Top Gun is in here. He's burned up. The engine is revved up, and he's ready to go. We facade here and we kill this. There's nothing that can really stop this right now. You know, my job here is to click facade. It is my only gun that's gonna be able to do anything. It's gonna be boosted, obviously, by the guts. So Salamence, you know, you're so powerful, but you go down. Now, what can he bring in, right? That's one Pokemon down. You know, he has about, I think, 4 more that I have to get through. So Swellow's really doing his thing here. And now I think the battle is over. Here's where I thought, you know, he's Scarf, he's gonna outspeed, he could close combat, easily kill this. So, you know, obviously I have to click a move, and I click facade. That's gonna do the most amount of damage. There's no point in U-turning, Brave Bird, and nothing like that. We're not even thinking right now. We just click a facade, and we pray to God that something happens, and I go ahead and outspeed. So that confirmed that, you know, it was banded, it wasn't Scarf. It had to be Scarf. He would have been able to outspeed there, but you know, I killed this thing, and now I start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm starting to see a way out. I'm like, okay, this guy can't stop me. Swellow is it. Swellow is the GOAT right now. Like, there's nothing he can really do. If he brings back in the Metagross, he's at least gonna take the rocks, right? He goes ahead and brings in Alakazam, and obviously his Alakazam is the Magic Guard, so he's not gonna take any damage. The only way that this beats this is if it is Scarf, or if it's Sash. If it's Sash or Scarf, it'll kill, but it doesn't. So Swellow gets this clean facade, kills this guy, and now my eyes are real bright right now, right? So I'm looking at things, I'm like, okay, what can you really do? Like, there's really nothing that can really come in. All of his checks to me are pretty much dead. This Blissey will do nothing to me. Obviously, I'm faster and I'm physically offensive. You don't want any of this smoke. So I'm gonna go ahead and facade. Obviously, that's my move here, and I end up cleaning up this thing too, guys. So sit back and relax and watch Top Gun go to work. This Hulk goes down, and now all he has left is the Metagross. I know he's packing the Bullet Punch, so he could definitely, you know, Bullet Punch this. Would it be able to kill though, right? Like so far, if nothing else, at this point, I'm thinking, if nothing else, we've done our job, right? We come into the battle, we gave ourselves the best chance to win this title. Let's go, let's cook facade. It's what brought us to the dance, and we're gonna rock with it. Let's go. So I go ahead and facade here, he bullet punches, and looking at the damage, luckily I win. You know, that goes ahead and does it for my opponent. So I definitely appreciate it. Swellow is a beast and he's goated. So if I haven't done so already, guys, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Celebrate with your boy for the W. I'm out. Peace.